Hello everybody and welcome back to our Chia sessions. Today we are doing a bit of clinical work and analysis. As you can see, the whole thing is out of balance after a plot finished and move the plot file from the temporary directory to the final destination. Ever since, we are having a whole bunch of problems. I will give you a little taste of it in our log file. So there are obviously errors, warnings which are filling up the log file, and this is something which is intended. We transferred the plot directory from one node to the other, and that leaves one node without a task on the harvester. But you can see there's a lot of stuff going on which we have to figure out. So to make long things short, what we're doing at the moment is moving plots again to see how it impacts the system. And as you can see, the system impact is pretty big. And it doesn't matter if it is a 10 gigabyte connection or 1 gigabyte connection, because the only difference is how long the disruption lasts. Because if I would use a 10 gigabyte connection, then the disruption would last for 20 minutes or 25 for one plot, or 3 or 4 hours for 10 plots. So the disruption would be the same. I don't see any difference at the moment. So what we are doing is and you can see one of the problems is that during the copy process, our full node is not able to catch up with the syncing process. It always lags behind. Which means that would happen to any node if it's 2 nodes or 1 nodes, as long as the node is directly involved into the copying process, you would have the same problem. So our intention is to shut it all down on Monday and transfer the one node to our web server and the second one to the Windows machine, and then see if we have set up the ISCSI storage with a 10 gigabyte connection, how we can minimize the impact of file copying on the whole system. And it doesn't matter how good or bad, how bad I don't know, but it doesn't matter how good the system is. The impact is even on the server. So this is a 60 plus gigabyte RAM machine with 12 cores and 24 threads, and we also see disruptions on this one. Let's have a look into the log here. And you see it's producing. We have a lot of different errors. They're even trying to ban themselves. See, there's a lot of things going on. So our conclusion is that it is a problem with the Windows machines, which are obviously having problems due to their graphical interface, and it is a problem with the different timings in the response sets for the nodes and harvesters and plotters, and it is also a problem with what happens with the internal copying when you finish a plot. Yeah, we all need to analyze it. So what we will do is we will fit our test server with a fiber optic 4-port card, and we will the test server with a fiber optic 2-port card and the ISI storage with the fiber optic 4-port connected all to our switch, and then set up the Ubuntu harvester and connect it with the fiber optic card as well. And then we will see how it works, and until then we will just move our plots to a parking machine, and yeah, we will start from next Monday, rip all the machines apart, fit them with the fiber optic cables, and then see where we are next Wednesday. Apart from that, yeah, if you see, the price for the Chia coin has fallen a lot. We will see if this line holds or if we go down to the next level, which would be around about the $600 marks. I mean, even $600 wouldn't be that bad for a coin which was expected to fetch 20. So yeah, we will see, and we will see how the change in price will impact the supply with mining machines. I mean, given that the price for the hardware is rising, we should see we should also see a decline. Okay, yeah, that's not too bad. We can do that one. But yeah, you can see we are now at 755 exabytes. That means since yesterday we have almost 500 petabytes added to the system, and since last week's Friday that is 2 exabytes added to the system. So we will see how the price of the coin will impact the growth. As I said, we haven't invested a single coin so far and a single dime, and I think what we will do is keep our cautious approach and see how the system is progressing. So at the moment we don't see much use, as I said, in continuing on the Windows platform. We will just leave one Windows machine so we can supply you with more boring videos about our Chia testing, and from then on we will move all the farming harvesters and plotters to Unix machines. So that is our conclusion after 5 days of testing so far. We have figured out how to overcome the worst obstacles and set it up so that it is initially working. What we see is that there are a lot of disruptions and there's basically no self-healing in the system, so there's no fallback mechanism. There are no mechanisms which try to fix things. Basically the whole system is static, and if one part becomes unresponsive, that triggers other errors, and from there on you get into a chain of progressing difficulties, and that will in the end trigger the whole thing unusable. So, yep, that is our conclusion at the moment. So we are not seeing that this is a stable system in itself, that there's absolutely no room for error whatsoever. And that means it might work for a period of time, but from the moment you need to do some intervention, you are facing a lot of problems. And as far as I can see, there aren't many solutions for the problems. So as I said yesterday, it is a banana product ripening at the customer. And yeah, I mean, that's a challenging approach. And we will see how that approach impacts the community, which is so hard working to print the coins. We will see. So what I will do and what we will do is we will just, so that is obviously a problem with the Chia dashboard, but the servers are up and running fine. It's only the reporting problem. But yeah, you can see this one is just not able to keep up because of the copying, and that triggers more error, more mistakes. And even though we changed the plotting directory, it's still not working because you actually would need to restart the whole system to get rid of the errors within the system. Yeah, so that is it for today. We managed to farm without any problems for about 12 hours, 16 hours. We managed to print another coin, to print another, yeah, that would be great, to print another plot. And as I said, the whole system went haywire when we copied the plot from the final to the temporary to the final directory, and from then on everything went downhill pretty fast. And if you are plotting and you have set up your system, you really have to think about the impact of downtime, and you really have to think about the impact of resynchronizing if you have to actually restart your whole system. So don't expect 100% uptime if you're mining. There will be downtime, there will be disruption. And when we look at the estimated network space, you can see it that there are fluctuations which are pretty big in the petabyte range. So there's obviously a lot of connecting and disconnecting going on in the net. We observed up to 50 petabyte differences within seconds. So we are now at 7.588. That means since last Friday we have, you can see now that's 7.596. That is 12 petabyte difference within, that is 8 petabyte difference between 2 seconds. That means there are a lot of systems connecting and disconnecting to the system within seconds, which is an indication for people troubleshooting and trying to get their systems stable. Good, that is for today. Yeah, the thing which works is the transaction for the wallets and the faucets. That is working, and obviously the nodes itself are pretty stable at the moment. We managed to get the response times sorted out, and we have managed to get a pretty good idea of how the actual structure will be. So that is for a week's work. Not too bad. And as I said, we will see how it works when we have connected it to the fiber optic switch and fiber optic box, and then we will see how it works, and then we will eventually populate the storage box with our 10 SAS disks. But from then on, it will be much more difficult to set up a basic structure again without ripping it all apart. And that's why I'm pretty reluctant at the moment. Maybe I will just wait for another week how things develop and just print a few plots here and there. We haven't decided yet. And anyway, it looks like that is a pretty work-intensive thing to do. And we have some other projects running as well, so I don't think we can spare that much time on the system, and we'll just might wait for a more stable state of the whole project. But one thing is sure, we will not invest any money at the moment into any hardware or anything which would be needed to supply the system. This is not a state where we would advise to spend hundreds or thousands of dollars into a banana product. This needs to be more stable before it actually merits investing real money into it. Remember, it's all only fictional. There's no real value behind it. It is all only based on trust and hope. So, in the end, the only value you have is the value for the used parts. And that is what you have to keep in mind when you invest into a project like that. Good. I mean, that is not an advice how you should invest. You can do whatever you want. But that is my thinking, and that is my strategy behind the whole project. And we will see if it manages to get to the resistance line here, back to the 1200, or if it will dive up to the next resistance line, which would be around the $600 mark. I mean, that still wouldn't be bad. It is just an indication of how fast you would make any profit if you really decide to invest. Okay, have a good day, enjoy your hard work, and we will see where we are by next week, Wednesday or Thursday. See you all again. Please like and subscribe if you want to, and back to basics. Bye bye.